I'm Katrina, and I'm going to show you how to make a quilled flower using the Three Birds Graceful Seasons Quilled Card Making Kit. First of all, you're going to take a quilling strip. You're going to insert it in between the tines of your comb, leaving a little tail. Then you will bring the end back up, and I always do it towards me. And you're going to skip a tine, and then you're going to bring it up and over, and you're going to go back down, and then you'll repeat this, but you'll go back on the other side of the tail and skip a tine, go over the tine, down, and then come back. You'll repeat this process until you get to the end of your quilling strip. This is a double quilling strip, so it will give me about 9 times on each side of my tail. If you do a single quilling strip, of the ones I have, I got about 5 on each side. You want to make sure and keep it even on each side. If you think you're going to run out, you can always leave your tail a little bit longer and cut it off at the end, and you'll see when we get to the end of it. So you just go back and forth, and it gets easier once you start doing it. At first I was a little, took me a little bit, but once you get going, then you get a rhythm, and you just go back and forth. And once you get going, you don't need to hold that tail that you had at the beginning either, because it's secured in there. So just continue back and forth. And the key to these are patience, using a good adhesive that is a little bit thin and that dries very clear so that you cannot see it once it dries. In this one, I'm using a Fabric Fuse by ThermoWeb. It has a little tip. It works really great for quilling, I found. And so we're just going to go back and forth, and there's the back side, and you see your layers just go over each other. So we're getting close to the end here. I always worry I'm going to run it down to the end of my comb. And you can do this with any size of quilling strips. These quilling strips that come in the Three Birds Graceful Seasons kit are 1/8 of an inch wide. Okay, I've almost reached the end. See, I have just a little bit of tail. So I'm going to put that through, and then I'm going to flip it over, grab my glue, and just squirt a little bit. You don't want to use too much adhesive. Too much adhesive is bad on this. So you just use a little bit, and then you're just going to lay that over and adhere it down. And this glue dries pretty quick. You want to make sure it's a little bit dry. And you're going to snip your tail off. So you just snip that off. And you're going to put your thumb and your forefinger in the middle where the tail was, and then you're going to kind of push your loops forward, and then you're going to very carefully pull it off. And you'll see here, then you just grab it and you fold it. This is the trickiest part. Patience, practice makes perfect is what I like to say about this part. You pinch the ends together, and then you're going to dab a little bit of glue on there. Then once you get that done, you're going to pinch the ends together and just kind of leave it like that until it dries a little bit. Also, another key here is if you get glue on your fingers, it's going to mess up your project, so try to keep your fingers clean. That didn't come into focus very well. Then you're going to put a little dot of glue on your end, and you're going to take a single quilling strip, and you're going to wrap it around several times. I just glue the beginning end, and you'll wrap it around. And basically what this does, this secures your petal of your flower. And to make a flower, you need to make anywhere from 5 to, I think my flower has 7. We'll count them here in a minute. But you just wrap it back and forth. I'm having a little trouble there. I was a little nervous. So you just continue to wrap. And I just wrap until I feel like it's secure. I don't have a definite number of times I wrap around. If you do a single quilling strip for the inside part of the flower, I usually use half of a quilling strip for the outside then. So, but since I used a double strip, I used basically the entire strip for the outside. So then you just secure your end, and then you're going to snip off the excess. And like I said, after you want to make a whole bunch of these up so that you have them ready to go to make your flower. And now I'm going to grab my extras over here that I'd already made. And you can tell that there's several. They look small. They're kind of small. So you're just going to put glue on one side, and then you're going to pick up another one of the petals, and you're going to attach them together, and then just lay them down. And then you just continue with each petal with that. Once you get to the last petal, then you'll want to put glue on all the sides. You just don't want too much glue on your project. Those two kind of stuck together there. And you just keep going. And you just kind of pinch them together and just hold them there gently. I'm getting close to the end here. I think I've got 2 more. I didn't like the look of 6, so I went ahead and did 7. I think it's the whole odd numbered thing, working odd numbers. So I just slipped it in there. And then you just kind of push those together towards the center. And since they all have glue on them, but not too much, they'll sit there and they'll dry. I usually let these set for a little bit. Now I'm going to make the center of my flower, and this is the new Quill Ease toolkit from 3 Birds. And it's a motorized, battery-operated quilling tool. There's a little slot in that metal section right there. You're going to see me put that through. You press the button, and voila, it wraps it for you. So, and it got a little carried away there. So I pull it off, and I'm going to try it again. That was my nerves kicking in there. So just put it together, wrap it, and then it'll stop. And then you pull it up, and then you have your perfect little coil. Now, if you wanted to size it, you would put it in the size, that wooden sizer that's below my hands there. But I know that I want it this tight. So I just glue the end. I have a nice little coil for my center piece of my flower. Then put a little glue on the bottom, and then stick it on top of my flower. And there you have it. And these flowers, practice makes perfect. The first ones I did, it took me a little bit, but once you get going, they're fun to make. So have fun quilling.